Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Jarrett Foster. I'm a senior at Marq Environmental Charter School. This is my 5th year at Marq, and this is my project, Sports Articles. So I started this project. So I originally started this project with my friend Josh. We started this project to get some English credit, and we thought the best way to do that was to find something we had in common that we could learn about together. And so we picked sports to learn about. To be able to learn about and get English credit with that in mind. So writing articles, working on our English skills of writing, and being able to also write about something that we both were interested in sports. So my driving question for this project was, how can writing sports articles help to develop a better understanding of English? So answering this question, it helped to better understand English by having to understand your audience when you're writing articles. So when you are writing articles, you want to keep your audience entertained. Make sure you are describing, and make sure that you are keeping their attention throughout the article. And making sure that you're using the proper wording. Because if you're not using the proper wording, you're not going to get your point across to your audience based on what's going on with the event that is going on with your sports article, depending on what you're writing about. If you're writing about a game that happened, or if you're writing about a trade or somebody retiring, whatever it may be in the sports world, you want to make sure that you get the right wording in there, or they're not going to understand what's going on exactly. So I think that part was super important when writing articles. And so that's kind of really my answer to my driving question. So what makes a good sports article? So this was a big thing that I worked on, was what are kind of the stages of writing an article. So phase one being your title. So your title, you want that to be, you're going to jump out at you, really want it to really kind of pop off when you're reading. So an example of this would be Mitch Trubisky leads the Chicago Bears to a nail-biter win over the Texans. So what you're doing with this title is putting in nail-biter. So that's ultimately going to draw them in. They're like, ooh, this is going to be interesting because there's a nail-biter win. How did that happen? Why was this a nail-biter win? And also making sure that you're getting the team names in there, so that way they know that what teams were playing and who won. Phase two being what happened. So how was this a nail-biter win? Well, Mitch, with 5 seconds left in the game, threw a touchdown pass to tight end Cole Kmet in the back of the end zone for the win. So here I'm describing what is going on and telling you what happened that made it a nail-biter. So with 5 seconds left, he was able to throw a game-winning touchdown to win the game. So that's what made a nail-biter. And I'm also describing where players were, if you didn't see the game, how that ended up, by saying that Cole Kmet was in the back of the end zone. So what happens next? So this is so with phase three, you're really kind of starting to predict a little bit on what's going on because of what has happened. So you're kind of showing what has happened, and now you're kind of looking ahead to what does this do? So with this win, puts the Chicago Bears back in the playoff race in a tough NFC conference as they continue to compete for a playoff spot. So with this, you're continuing to explain about this team, continuing to explain about the team that won, and continuing to explain why is this significant? Why is this game significant? Why are you writing an article about it? Well, it's significant because it puts them back into the playoff race where they maybe weren't before, and now they kind of get a little bit of life in their team. As well as it's, again, just adding those details to your article. On phase four, your closing, that's where you're really going to predict what do they need to continue to do, what do you predict kind of is going to happen next, things like that. And with this, I say the Chicago Bears are right in the playoff race and need to continue to be a threat throwing the football. So again, adding details, showing maybe what this team needs to do going forward that you see that they need to do going forward in order to continue to win football games and continue to be in the playoff race. And I think that's a big thing, is that you have to you're almost being an analyst when you're writing an article, being able to analyze the game and being able to put it into words for everybody. I mean, that's what sports is all about when you're writing articles or when you're being an analyst, is you want to teach people about what's going on. You just don't want to tell them, well, the Bears won, but I can't tell you why. I'm just, but you're able to tell them why, what they need to do, things like that. Being able to teach people more about what's going on. So my favorite part of this project was definitely writing about my favorite team, Chicago Bears. One of my articles was analyzing quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. Probably one of my best articles that I wrote. Really was an in-depth article of explaining, what things were good and bad and why. Explaining, like one of my examples in this article was explaining why he has these strengths and weaknesses, and explaining how these strengths and weaknesses can help and hurt him, in his career. So again, continuing to explain and kind of show why he's good, why he's bad, and then kind of coming up with a consensus at the end. So these are my sources, and thank you for watching. Any questions?